What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video, and we're here with the part 3 of the thumbnail tutorial, guys. You already know I'm gonna make another one 6 months later, but it's all good. But yeah, guys, make sure also to follow my Twitter. Here is actually my Twitter. If you guys would actually go follow, it'd be really appreciated. I'm trying to get 3K. I'm gonna host a design contest if you guys are down for that. I'm a graphic designer. You already know. Go Niners, Rockets. Hey, let's get it. Go follow. Also, guys, if you can follow my Instagram, it's PopTosRA. That'd be greatly appreciated. Just go do it. You know, just for the sake of me doing this tutorial, you guys can go follow me. It doesn't take that long. But yeah, guys, I'll put in the link in the description. Alright, guys, so the apps you're gonna need is Pixelmator, Afterlight, Lightroom, and Phonto. Yeah, guys, these are great apps. These are the best. Just do not use Pixar. Do not use any of those bad apps. They're super bad, and they really are bad in quality. So yeah, guys, don't use that. And let's get on with the video. So now that you're in Pixelmator, you're going to want to click the plus, and you're going to want to create image. I have to go into landscape mode for this because I want you guys to see the best quality possible. So you're going to want to click 1920 by 1080. It's important that you must do 1920 by 1080 because 1280 by 720 is what people usually use, and the quality goes down pretty much like twice. So it's the same with headers. So people usually use 1500 by 500, but what you're going to want to do is click 3000 by 1000 because it doubles the quality and makes it much better. So yeah, you're going to want to create. So what you're going to want to basically do is just find the renders you're going to use, either renders or PNGs from fmbr.co, which I'll link in the description. Basically shows all the PNGs of all the skins in Fortnite. And also just put them there, and we'll see you guys when I choose them. Alrighty, guys, so we chose our renders. We're actually going to be using the Recon Expert and the Gold Trooper, not the Skull Trooper, but just to move that, we're just going to want to move this to the left. Make the Gold Trooper move to the left. You're going to make it go a little bit higher. You want to click the select tool, rectangular selection, and you just grab that, and there you go, it's out. It's a little cut out, but you won't really tell when it's kind of behind the Gold or the Recon Expert. Alright, so what you're going to want to do first is go to the shape tool right here. It's a little rectangle. Click the circle. Make this huge. And you're going to want to... There. Wasn't working. You want to make this blue. We're going to choose blue as the color scheme. Make sure this is on blue all the way up. And you're going to want to blur this. So in tools, right here it says add effects and blur. So basically blur all that out and make it a tiny bit bigger. And yeah, then you're going to want to make another circle smaller than that. You're going to only make it want to go like right here. Then you're going to want to blur this one. And then you're going to want to make this one white. So blur that. And then you're going to make this one white. So you're going to click the format and then go to fill, make it white. Now, and before you guys do anything else, you're going to want to make this also black. Basically the background black, so you can see everything better. Okay, so maybe you want to move this a little to the left. Okay. Now you're going to want to get another shape, to another circle, but make it an oval. Basically make it like this. And you're going to want to make it go all over everything else. So you're going to want to do this. And this one you're going to put blending this time. So you're going to put linear dodge. And also you're going to want to make it white. And then you're going to want to blur it. You're going to want to blur this one. So now everything else is brightened up. See how like this part right here is brightened up a bit, and this part right here is brightened up a bit. Maybe just move it a bit to the left or to the right. And now you're going to want to make it go down. Okay, now it's an important step. I know it looks pretty weird right now, but this is just like the right things to do. And maybe you're going to want to brighten this or blur this a little bit more. Should I? Yeah, I mean, it's not much of a difference, but yeah. You're going to want to do that. and you're gonna want to click the second tool on the top, and you're gonna want to click this one that is just like a grid next to the clipboard empty to the left of that. So this one you're gonna make it go over the skins, and you're gonna want to click the little paintbrush tool right here, and you're gonna put, so right here is normal, right here where it goes. So basic, you're gonna want to go 1, 2, 3 to the left, and you're gonna want to find this light brush tool. Oh, if it lets me choose it. Anyways, you're gonna want to click this one, and you're gonna click a linear dodge on blending, and then you're gonna want to click the little paint tool. So we're gonna brighten up the background a bit, not necessarily the skins, but you're gonna want to make this a little brighter. So you're gonna want to make the size like 158% around there, and the 15 opacity. So you're just gonna want to brighten up the background a bit. That's pretty much what linear dodge does. Just like the outside bits, like right here. And then you're gonna want to brighten this up a bit, and then this a little bit, and this a little bit. That looks pretty good from here. Maybe make this a little bigger. Yeah. And then move it down a bit. Yeah, basically like that. Now you're gonna want to click linear dodge again. So linear dodge. Oh no, linear. Wait, is it linear dodge? It might be. Yeah. So you're gonna want to make. Let's just test it out. Is it linear dodge? Yeah, it is. Okay, but this time you're gonna want to make the size like around 58%, and you're gonna want to zoom in on the skin, maybe a bit smaller, like 43%, and you're gonna want to just brighten up the skin now. Light is coming off of the skin, so you're gonna want to make it go onto the skin. So you're just want to do this, basically brighten everything up. And once you get like to this point, like you just get the left side of the skin, like pretty much the edges, coated. You can just make the brush bigger and just mess with it like this. You also want to get the top of the skin a little bit with light. So basically wherever the light is, you want to do that. Alright guys, now one of the most important steps of this all. So you're going to want to make another plus, and you're going to want to make another grid one. Pretty much a transparent layer. You're going to want to click paint and erase. Actually, before that, you're going to want to click format, blending. But this time, it's something new. Overlay lighting. Overlay lighting pretty much brightens up the whole skin. It's a really good way of brightening up the skin and adding some good lighting. So you're just going to want to make this pretty big so it covers the whole skin. So basically, you're going to add shadows and where the light is going to hit. So wherever the light's hitting, like right here, I'm going to draw a little bit more. Alright, so we're going to keep drawing a little bit more. So right here, the light is hitting. Instead of right here, these are shadows. So you're going to want to make this black. Basically make the color black. And just draw a little bit so it's a little bit more darker, because that's where no light is going to hit. So a little bit of light shows here, so maybe draw a little bit. So there, it hit a little bit hits, so maybe draw a little there, a little there, a little right here. You see how now it's like a little, it's very subtle, but you can see it. It really makes a difference, like in the long run. So right here, we're gonna draw a little bit more around the skin, around here, around the helmet or the hat, whatever that is. Okay, now you might want to make this smaller because you're smaller place to work with. So you're gonna want to make the shadows a little more apparent. Also right here, there's not really much light going on there. So like I said, right here, maybe right here, because this right here, this skin is shadowing on top of this. So you're gonna want to make that a little darker. Maybe this is too dark, so maybe make it a little lighter. Yeah. And right here it's very gray, so we're gonna maybe erase a little bit more on here. So you're just gonna want to get that tool. So basically just do that. Sometimes this happens, so you're just gonna want to add overlay lighting, only overlay lighting. That looks much better. Okay. Alright, so now you're gonna want to choose some text. Onto Phonto we go. Alright guys, so now that we're in Phonto, you're gonna want to click plain image. You're gonna want to click this, and you're gonna want to make it all the way up. So iPad Pro 12.9 inch. Use and save, and you're gonna want to click. For the tutorial, I'm gonna put your name, or like title name maybe. Your name, your title, name. So you're gonna want to do that. Make sure they are spaced out evenly like this. This is not the font we're gonna use, but this is a very well-known font. It's called Matrix, but we're gonna use big regular Burbank black, and we're gonna want to make it white. Make the stroke like that, basically like this. And if it should look like this, maybe you can put like montage #1 or like highlights or something like that, and then you're gonna want to do this. So after this, you're gonna want to save image as a PNG. Alright guys, now you're going to want to click the plus tool back in Pixelmator. You're going to want to click all your title name. You're going to make sure you add this 3 times. 3 times like this. Like this. And you're going to want to click this layer right here. And then click and add a white layer. You're going to want to click select. And then you're going to want to click color tool. Or color selection. So you're just going to want to do this. This and this. Oops. You're gonna want to click this. You're gonna want to click your title name, and then you're gonna want to basically eliminate all of the names you don't want. Basically, you're gonna put your title name as the text. So you're gonna want this. So you have name there, and now you're gonna want your, and then title. You're gonna put that in the middle. Alright, so here guys, you see how the darken makes the gradient show? That's all you guys are pretty much going to want to do. That's what's going to make the gradient actually show. So when you make it orange and yellow, it'll actually show. Because it won't just show as a like a blank color. It'll show as a gradient on the text because the text is white. For some reason, that's how it blends. But yeah. So yeah, you're just going to want to make that a little yellow, a little weird. That gradient isn't as good, but maybe you just make it 90 degrees and it'll look good. And yeah. Alright, so now you're going to want to merge the text. It's because you're going to want to add a stroke afterwards. Make sure you do the coloring of the text first, because that's going to make the text better. If you do it after, it's going to look weird and it's going to look bad. And yeah, so you're maybe going to want to lower the stroke a little tiny bit. And there. So what you're going to also want to do, if you see those things right there, you're going to want to add a little square. The square is going to make it pretty much disappear. Just make the squares black, and yeah, you're just gonna duplicate the other one, put it there, duplicate another one, and then put it on the little thin line of white. So there you go guys. And now you're gonna want to merge them all. You're gonna want to merge it with the text, so it's just normal. Make sure not to do what I did, but just merge them all like that, and then there you go. You're gonna maybe want to make it a little tiny smaller. And now you're going to probably want to add a background. I'll link this in the description. It's a pack from Edward, and it's the mobile version. And the app you're gonna need is Documents, which I'll also link in the description. And yeah, I'll ask Edward if I can use this, but these are the loading screens you're gonna want to use. You're gonna want to use these really nice loading screens from the game. They're gonna make the design look really good, and you're gonna want to add depth as well. So you're gonna add weapons, outfit skins, back blings. You're gonna want to add all that stuff. So now you're gonna want to add the background. So you're gonna go to the bottom layer, which is black. You're gonna want to add a new wallpaper. So you're gonna want to add that wallpaper I said from Edward's pack, and you're gonna want to make it either black and white, or you can add a hue to it, a blue hue, which I'll show you in a bit. But let's try making it black and white first. Let's see if that looks good. We're gonna want to mess with the brightness and the contrast, maybe the saturation, but this doesn't look too good. Maybe just making it look normal, and then just adding a blue hue to it would look really good. So maybe make it basically duplicate the layer on top, make it a hue, and make it blue as well. Maybe we'll try some of these other blending modes to see if they're good, but probably hue's gonna work the best. Let's try linear light, hard mix, difference. These don't look too good, but hue looks the best, I think, my opinion. But maybe a different background will look even better. But first you gotta merge these so they look good, and you're gonna probably mess with the contrast and saturation and stuff like that, because it looks kind of bland in my opinion. And you're gonna want to make the thumbnail really nice, and you want it to pop out, not look bland. So maybe mess with the contrast a bit, but let's try a different background. Let's try maybe the one that's already kind of blue. Okay, so you're gonna want to add duplicate it again and add a hue. You're gonna want to make it blue, and maybe we'll mess with these again to see if it looks good. But probably hue's gonna work the best again, like I said, because it's the easiest to work with and looks the best, honestly. I really want to make that Station 99 sign look blue, but also make everything else look nice. So probably hue does it the best. So yeah, we're gonna keep it at that, and now you're gonna add depth. So what you're gonna want to do is add maybe this shield bubble thing, and you're gonna want to curve it a bit, rotate it, and make it bigger so it looks like there's depth. You basically making the camera or your eyes, I mean, it just makes it look better. Let's just say that. You're gonna want to blur it, make the hue blue, which it already is. And maybe try the P90. Let's try this backpack. It's red right now, but we'll blur it, and then we'll make it look better when we hue it blue. So you're just gonna want to blur it, maybe like 10%, and then you're gonna want to duplicate it, make it a little bigger, duplicate it, and then make it blue by adding a hue, making the blue all the way nice, and then go down to color or hue. Maybe color, nah, hue looks the best. So maybe you're gonna want to add this P90. Maybe put it behind the skin. That'll probably look pretty good. Put it behind the gold trooper, towards the bottom of the skin, and maybe we'll blur it just a tiny little bit. But yeah, you're gonna want to rotate it to the right spot, move it a bit, rotate it again, and then blur it. And then the lighting as well from the skin is also shining on top of it, so it looks really, really good. So now you're gonna want to do that. Maybe blur it a little bit more. That looks good. And you're also gonna want a vignette as well. It makes it look really, really good. So now you're gonna want to add probably smoke. All right, so maybe you guys want to add this tin can right here. This looks really good if you motion blur it, but since there's no motion blur on mobile, it'll look really weird. But I mean, you can still pull it off. You just gotta blur it, not that much, but 5% maybe. You're gonna want to duplicate it again and make it a blue hue. Actually no, make it a blue color, because hue doesn't work that well on this, I don't think. Oh, actually it does. Well, yeah, you're gonna want to have that there, and then now you're gonna want to add particles and smokes. First off, we're gonna add smokes, and I'll show you guys when we do it. All right, now we have our smoke. This is a red smoke, which will turn blue eventually, but here, maybe we'll place one right there, duplicate it there. Maybe add one behind the P90 and the backpack, and behind the text. And we'll maybe make it a little bit onto the Recon Expert and the Gold Trooper. Maybe we'll duplicate it again, and then we'll move it somewhere else. So you're gonna want to merge these. Don't make sure not to merge all of them together, because they're all in different spots and above different layers, and it'll look really weird. So you're gonna want to make the bottom of the two black and white, and then you're gonna want to make the top one blue and on color, not on hue this time, because hue doesn't work on black and white. So then you're gonna want to blur the bottom one a bit, and maybe we can blur it a little bit more, but we'll see. Let's merge them together, and we'll see if we should blur them a little bit more. See, there's a little difference, so we'll maybe blur it a tiny bit more, and we'll add a little vignette maybe. Yeah, like that. Now we can do the bottom smokes. So we can make the bottom one black and white, and then make the top one on color, which is on blue. So make the bottom one black and white, and then we'll blur it maybe a bit. And then maybe we can do a little blending mode. That'll probably look pretty good. But we'll blur it a little bit, and then we'll see how that looks. Yeah, we could probably blend it a little bit. So maybe like on color dodge. I think we could do that one. But yeah, now we need particles, which is very important. So I'll see you guys when I get them. Alright guys, now we have the particle. I'll make sure to link these in the description. I'll probably put it in like a Google Drive or something. But yeah, I'll link them in the description. You're going to want to make them black and white after this. And you're going to put them on screen. Put them black and white. And then probably put them on bright, or probably something like that. And then you're going to want to probably adjust the colors to make it blue-ish compared to the backlight of the goal and the other render, Recon Expert. And then you're gonna probably want to add some more go on top of the skin, which is just like black or white dots, which probably can draw, but it's easier just to do this, and also put that on screen. So yeah, and now you're gonna want to copy this to Photos, and you're gonna want to go to Lightroom, a really good app for adjusting contrast and everything. It's a really good app, and it's free, so you guys can go on the App Store, probably get it. So you're gonna put it on a modern. These are pretty much like CCs, which aren't really CCs, but they're kind of CCs for mobile. Probably modern 7 would look the best. Maybe adjust it a little bit to your needs. Adjust the exposure, contrast, highlights, shadows. Maybe you can adjust them a little bit. Basically, this will make your design 10 times better. You can probably add some saturation. Texture looks really weird on mobile for some reason, but you can add that. A vignette you can add, and also you can, so we'll probably add one. And then you can also probably add a grain. Grain is really important. I really like grain, and it makes the design quality go up like 50 times. And now you can also add some sharpness, and there you go. That's the design done. And we'll go back to Pixelmator and compare the two. We'll render it, and yeah. Alright, now that you're in Pixelmator, you're going to want to add the top one to compare the two. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 1, that's 2. The first one is without Lightroom, and the second one is with Lightroom. So guys, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I think that's the tutorial done, and I really hope you guys enjoyed. And leave a like, follow me on Twitter again at PuppetitosRA, and also on Instagram. And hopefully you guys subscribe, like, hopefully this blows up. And yeah guys, I love you guys, and peace out.